I moved to the Philippines chasing endless sunshine, and here's the one thing I absolutely did not expect after 4 years under the palms near Dumaguete. The rainy season became my favorite part of the whole year, but before I get into all of it, it would really mean a lot if you'd subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It genuinely helps us out over here. Now I know exactly what you're thinking. How on earth could the rain be the best part? Stay with me, because 4 years ago, I'd have asked the very same question. I'd have shaken my head at the fellow saying it. The rain, the best part? Come on, so let me take you back a little, and you'll see why. 4 years ago, I was still in the States, and I can still feel one particular morning in my bones. Standing out in the driveway before the sun was really up, scraping a crust of ice off my windshield, my breath hanging in the air like smoke, fingers going numb right through the gloves. You know that feeling. The car won't warm up. The sky's the color of an old nickel, and somewhere in the middle of all that scraping, you catch yourself just standing there, wondering where the years went. That was the shape of my life for a long time. Long winters, short gray days, and this quiet little ache underneath it all for something warmer, something lighter. So when I finally decided to make the leap, I pictured the Philippines the way most folks do. Palm trees, blue sky every single day, a soft breeze off the water and not a cloud in sight 365 days a year. That was the dream I folded up and packed into 2 suitcases and carried clear across the ocean to my little village outside Dumaguete. Endless sunshine. That was the whole promise I made myself. And then, one of my first weeks here, a neighbor mentioned the monsoon. I still remember the way my stomach dropped. Months of rain, he told me, real casual, like it was nothing. Months. And in my head, right away, I heard 2 words, Michigan November. You know the one I mean. That low gray ceiling that sits on your chest from the moment you wake up, that cold drizzle that never quite becomes anything and never quite stops, the kind of gloom that follows you indoors and sits down next to you. I thought, well, there it is. I've traded one gray season for another. I flew halfway around the world and brought the winter with me. I had it completely backwards. Here's the thing nobody tells you before you come out here. The rain in the Philippines, at least where I am near Dumaguete, mostly comes in warm afternoon downpours. That's it. That's the big secret. Not the cold, all-day dishwater gray I'd been dreading. The morning? The morning is bright. The sun comes up, the street wakes up, the jeepneys go rattling by, all painted up in their colors. You get your errands done, you buy your fruit, you stop and chat with folks, and then, right around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, like clockwork, you can almost set your watch by it. The sky just opens up. And it is nothing like home. Nothing. It's warm. That's the first thing that got me, standing under my little porch roof that first time. It comes down like a soft, warm curtain of water, and you can hold your hand out into the edge of it and not shiver even a little. The children don't run from it, they play in it. And the smell, oh, the smell, when that first rain hits the hot earth after a bright morning and it drifts up off the road and mixes with the ripe mango and all the tropical fruit sitting out at the market stalls, well, that's a smell you'd have to stand in to understand. I can't hand it to you through a screen. I've tried to describe it a dozen times and I always come up short. Wet earth and sweet fruit and warm rain all at once. 4 years now, and it still stops me right where I'm standing. If you've been picturing nothing but blue skies for your own move, this next part is really going to change how you plan it. Because that warm afternoon rain isn't a problem to survive, it's a gift. Once you know it's coming, once you learn to work with it instead of hiding from it, everything shifts. And honestly, that right there, the rain being nothing like I feared, that's just one little thing out of 100 that nobody tells you before you make this move. All the stuff you only learn after you've actually lived it, sometimes the easy way, sometimes the hard way. That's exactly why I finally sat down and gathered all of it into one place, a guide I put together called OnewayGuide. It's everything I've figured out over these 4 years, the on-the-ground truths and the small tricks, and it also walks you through the government forms and the paperwork that scares so many folks off before they even start. Nice and painless. It's the shortcut I wish somebody had handed me the day I stepped off that plane. If this dream is a serious one for you, the link's down there in the description whenever you want it. Anyway, back to that rain. That warm afternoon downpour was the first thing that flipped a switch in me, the first real crack in everything I thought I knew about coming here. It took the fear I'd been carrying and just quietly set it down. But if I'm being straight with you, and I always try to be straight with you, that wasn't even the biggest thing, because there was a second thing. And that second thing, it reached down and changed me a whole lot deeper than any downpour ever could. You see, it wasn't really the rain itself in the end. It was watching what one particular person did the very moment that rain came down. A lady down the road from me, a woman who's lived on this island her entire life. That first rainy season, I kept half an eye on her the way you watch a local when you're new, trying to learn how things are actually done around here. And when that 2 o'clock sky opened up over the village road, when I was still fighting that old cold country habit of ducking my head and running for cover, she did the exact opposite of everything I would have done, and what she did next is the thing that truly taught me how to live out here, the lady down the road. When that afternoon sky opens up, she doesn't run for cover the way I used to. She pulls a wooden chair onto her porch, pours herself a coffee, and just lets the whole afternoon slow right down. She's lived here her entire life, and watching her that first rainy season is the second thing that flipped a switch in me, deeper than the warm rain ever did. Let me paint you the picture, because it stayed with me. 2 o'clock rolls around and you can almost set your watch by it. The light goes soft. The first big drops start rattling on the tin roofs up and down the lane, and there she is, not fussing, not hauling laundry in like the house is on fire. She just settles into that chair, wraps both hands around her cup, and watches the water come down like it's an old friend she's been expecting all day. The first time I saw it, I stood at my own window feeling a little foolish, if I'm honest, because I was the one bracing. I was the one who'd read the word monsoon and pictured months of gloom. And here was a woman who'd seen more rainy seasons than I've had birthdays, and she wasn't fighting the weather at all. She was moving with it. There's a difference, and it took me a while to feel it in my bones. That's the thing I want you to really hear. She doesn't fight it. She bends with it. The rain isn't an interruption to her day. It is the day, the same way the bright morning is the day, the same way the evening breeze off the water is the day. Nothing to conquer, nothing to hide from, just the natural shape of the hours out here. And here's what nobody warned me about. That rhythm is contagious. You can't sit next to it week after week and stay wound up like a spring. The whole village takes the season in stride, the way their parents did and their grandparents before them, and slowly, without me even deciding to, it rewired how I move through a day. I stopped rushing. I stopped treating a gray afternoon like a problem to solve. I started reaching for the coffee instead. Now I could leave it there and just tell you it's a lovely feeling, but I promised you the real on-the-ground stuff, and this is where it gets genuinely practical, because this isn't only a mood. It's easy on you day to day in ways I never saw coming, and one of them shows up right on paper. And if the monthly budget is what's really on your mind, listen close here, because this next part surprised even me. Your electric bill eases up in the rainy season. It actually goes down. I remember sitting at my kitchen table that first year, looking at the numbers and having to read them twice. Back in the hot, dry stretch, that fan is going day and night, and the air conditioning is working hard to keep a room bearable. But when those afternoon downpours come rolling through, the whole place cools off on its own. You're not running the fan, and the air conditioning is hard, not for hours on end, and the rain does that cooling for free. Let that sink in for a second. The very thing I was dreading, the thing I thought would be a hardship, was quietly handing me a lower bill every single month it rained. The season that scared me was saving me money. Nobody puts that in the travel brochure. So what does it actually ask of you day to day? Almost nothing. You plan your outings for the mornings. That's it. That's the heart of it. The morning is bright and clear, so that's when you go to the market, you handle your errands, you visit a friend, you get your walking in while the fruit stalls are full and the mangoes are stacked up sweet and golden. Then when 2 o'clock comes and the sky opens up like clockwork, you're already home, feet up, watching it fall. And the one small habit that ties it all together, you keep an umbrella by the door. A good sturdy one right there where you can grab it on your way out. That way the rain never catches you flat-footed, never turns into a soaking or a scramble. Is it really that simple? Truly, it is. Keep an umbrella by the door and you've got it. Plan your outings for the mornings and the afternoons take care of themselves. There's no misery in it. There's no hiding indoors for months, staring at the walls, counting down to sunshine. And that, right there, is the peace I most want you to feel because it's the opposite of what you might be picturing. This is not a Michigan November. It is not that cold, gray, endless kind of wet that seeps into your mood and just sits there for weeks. This is warm. This is alive. The rain comes down soft and heavy. The earth gives off that rich smell. The mango stalls at the market carry it too. And by 4 or 5, the sky's often clearing again for a golden evening. The rhythm out here isn't a hardship you endure. It's a gift. And the folks who live here figured that out generations ago. I just had to be humble enough to learn it from them. And honestly, this is the stuff nobody tells you before you come. The lived-in rhythms, the little tricks that turn a worry into a non-event, the small habits that make a whole season feel easy instead of heavy. When I finally sat down to gather all of it, along with the government form help that keeps the paperwork painless, I put it into OnewayGuide, my complete retiree guide. It's simply everything I learned the hard way, in one place. So you don't have to learn it the slow way like I did. If this dream is a serious one for you, the link's down in the description. But here's what I really came out onto the porch to tell you today, because a feeling is one thing and a moment is another. All of this slowing down, all of this learning to bend with the weather instead of fighting it, it didn't land on me gradually in the end. It came to a head. It all came together on one single afternoon, when a good buddy of mine, another American who'd landed here a couple of years back, came over during a heavy downpour. And what he said to me by the end of it is the thing that sealed this whole secret for good. Let me tell you about it. He showed up at my door soaking wet, laughing, shaking the water off his hat right there on the steps. The sky had opened up a little after 2 that day, the way it always does out here, warm and sudden, that soft curtain of water coming down like clockwork. And instead of ducking inside and shutting all the windows up tight, we did the thing the locals taught me a long time ago. We dragged 2 chairs out onto the porch, and we just sat. The rain rattling on the tin roof right over our heads, a plate of fresh mango and papaya on the little table between us, sliced up that same morning, still carrying that sweet smell from the market, 2 cups of coffee going slowly cold because neither one of us was in any kind of hurry to finish them, and we talked. We talked for 3 hours about everything and nothing at all, our kids back in the States, the long gray winters we used to dread, an old pickup truck he swears he never should have sold, a little fishing spot down the coast I keep promising to show him. Nothing important, really, and somehow all of it important. No phone buzzing on the table, no place either of us had to be, just 2 old friends and the sound of that rain. And you know what struck me later, thinking back on it? Not 1 minute of it felt wasted while we were sitting in it. Back in the States, an afternoon like that would have come with a little guilt riding on its shoulder. The lawn needs mowing. Somebody's waiting on a call. You ought to be doing something productive. Out here, that voice just goes quiet. The rain has a way of giving you permission to stop. At some point, the light went soft and low, the palms out front swaying easy in the wet, and he leaned back in his chair and got real quiet. Then he looked over at me and said something I haven't been able to shake since. He said, "You know, back home, we'd have called this a wasted day." A wasted day. He let those words just sit there for a second. Then he shook his head, kind of laughed to himself and said, "But out here, this was one of the best days either of us has had in months." And that's it. That's the whole thing right there. That's the secret I never saw coming when I packed my life into a couple of suitcases 4 years ago. See, I came here for the sunshine. I really did. I pictured blue sky every single day, palm trees, the warm sand, all of it. And the sunshine is wonderful, don't get me wrong for a second. But it turns out it wasn't the blue sky days that changed me. It was the gray ones. It was those warm, rainy afternoons that snuck right up on me and taught me something I'd plain forgotten how to do. They taught me how to actually live again, slow, unhurried, grateful for a plate of fruit, an old friend, and 3 long hours with nowhere on this earth I had to run off to. And that's the part I absolutely did not expect. Not in 100 years. Remember when my neighbor first mentioned the monsoon, I braced myself for months of misery. I had it completely backwards. The rainy season didn't take a single thing from me. It quietly handed me the best part of my whole year. And I'll ask you this honestly. When's the last time back home you spent 3 unhurried hours doing nothing that mattered and everything that did? No clock watching you, no list tugging at your sleeve, just time, the way it's supposed to feel. If you have to think hard about that answer, well, friend, I suspect you already know why this move keeps pulling at your heart. That's the secret the travel brochures never show you. They'll sell you the beach and the sunset and the blue water, and don't get me wrong, all of that is real. All of it is beautiful, but they never show you the porch. They never show you the rain rattling on the tin roof, the smell of wet earth rolling in off the fields, the ripe mango sitting on the table, and an afternoon that stretches out long and easy in front of you like a present somebody set right in your lap. The sunshine is what got me on the plane. Those rainy afternoons are what changed me. And that smell, I have to tell you about that smell one more time, because it's the thing my friends back home never believe until they stand in it. When the first warm rain hits the ground, the whole village lifts up this scent of wet earth, and it mixes with the ripe mango and the sweet papaya from the market stalls, and it rolls right up onto the porch. 4 years, and it still stops me every single time. So let me say this to you, wherever you happen to be sitting right now, whatever gray window you're staring out of, whether you're picturing Cebu or Palawan or a small village by the sea like the one I landed in outside Dumaguete, when you think about making this move, here's the only thing I really want you to hold on to. Don't fear the rain. Lean into it. Don't fear the rain. Lean into it. Plain and simple as that. You don't need much to get it right. Keep an umbrella by the door. Do your errands in the bright morning while the sky's still wide open. And then, when 2 o'clock rolls around and those first fat drops start tapping on the roof, don't go hiding from it. Pour yourself a cup of coffee. Pull a chair onto the porch, the way the lady down my road has done every rainy afternoon of her long life. And just let the season slow you all the way down. Let it teach you the very thing it taught me. That's all it takes. A little preparation, a little willingness to sit still, and this whole rhythm turns into the best part of your day instead of the thing you were dreading. I still remember my own first monsoon, standing at the window that first gray afternoon, half convinced I'd made a terrible mistake. And then that smell hit me, the wet earth and the ripe mango coming up off the ground, and something in my chest just eased. I pulled a chair out, I sat down, and I've been sitting down for those afternoons ever since. And if you do want the rest of what I've gathered up out here, all the little habits the government paperwork made painless, the things nobody bothers to hand you before you come, that's what I poured into OnewayGuide. It's the shortcut I dearly wish somebody had handed me on day one. But honestly, even that's just the details. The real heart of it is what I'm telling you right now, from this porch. Because here's where I want to leave you. That afternoon, the rain coming down, my friend and I laughing about calling it a wasted day. That's not some rare, once-a-year kind of thing out here. That's an ordinary Tuesday. That's just the everyday shape of a good, slow life in this place, and it is sitting there waiting for you the moment you decide you're ready for it. Nobody's rushing here. The whole country seems to breathe a little slower, and after 4 years, so do I. My blood pressure's better. I sleep like a stone. I laugh more than I have in 20 years, and a good chunk of that, I'd swear on it, came from learning to sit still on a rainy afternoon instead of fighting it. If a slow, grateful afternoon like that sounds like the life you've been quietly dreaming of, then this move is more within reach than you think. I mean that. It's doable. Every single piece of it. And it is so, so worth it. 4 years in now, and I still feel it every time the sky opens up at 2 o'clock and the roof starts to sing. This new chapter of yours is closer than you think. So prepare a little, pour yourself that coffee, keep the umbrella right there by the door, and let the rain teach you how to live.